completely open for everybody. It's all about the way how you show your dedication in the next coming 2-3 months, and the way how you design it for your career. That's it. There is nothing like particular prerequisite. Okay. So of course, all these who are from the HR background, so obviously they'll have a little bit advantage in understanding the things a bit faster. That's it. Okay, nothing more than that. Because end of the day, success factor, the systems and success factors, the terminologies and success factors, major of the things when it comes to this technology product are new to everybody. Okay. Okay, so now let me just get into the content. So yesterday, this is what we have been discussing. That is like what is success factors in detail. Next, the way from where it has started and how many languages it is supported today, all that, and what actually is this cloud model is, or the technical SaaS model is. So this way of remotely hosting the data and accessing the data on demand whenever we require, just with a browser and an internet connection. So thus that is all about the SaaS model or the cloud model. And those remote locations where the entire customer data is actually hosted are called as the data centers. So we have around 15 data centers across the globe that I've clearly mentioned. So data center number 2, which is in Amsterdam, Netherlands, and data center number 10, which is in Sydney, Australia, are a couple of examples of them also I mentioned. And the advantages of all these cloud or the SaaS models are nothing but majorly with respect to the hardware maintenance, guys. The majorly with respect to hardware, the companies need not bother about maintaining this, hosting the servers, taking care of the backup servers, power backups, server rooms, network consultants to be hired for that maintenance of servers. The server AMC cost that they include in annual maintenance completely. Each and everything has been lost in this server aspect for the customer. So this is a very good start at a overall project cost level. So the total ownership cost has been reduced, and the licensing model is also something very much commercially designed for the customers. And the release management that brings the releases, success factors updates every off yearly. So that brings up with a lot of new features for the customers on every module of success factors. That might be new features, functionalities, or the screen improvements, the current old features related, any bug fixes, all that various kinds of things. And of course the accessibility, that we can access success factors from anywhere, anytime, any part of the globe, from any device. Okay, it's all about an internet connection and a browser or an app that you require to access SF. Okay, so these are all the advantages or the why reasons for the reasons for why cloud or why success factors basically. And we have been also looking at the entire list of modules yesterday. So right from Employee Central till the social collaborative add-on application called Jam. So these are all the set of solutions that we have in success factors in store as of today. And those first 4 areas that we have been highlighting are those that are part of our success factors curriculum here. Okay, and then followed by, at last in our yesterday session, we have been also looking at the architecture perspective, the systems that we actually come across in the success factors consulting. Whenever we are implementing a project to any customer, these are the 2 different systems that we will be accessing as a consultant: the provisioning and the instance part. And provisioning is something the backend we call totally, and it is where only the certified success factors consultants can access it. Whereas the front end instance system is the one where anybody, it might be a consultant or even the employee of a company, anybody can get an access by just having a login ID into it. And that is a major system where the configurations also happen there, and the end users also will access the system there. So that is the main system of success factors for maintaining at any point of time. Instance part, it's only minimal work of activations or any XML uploads kind of thing we do. Most of the time it's few activations like languages, language packs activations, modules and features activations and all. Just with a checkbox activation is what we do in the provisioning. So even the ratio of activities that we do in these 2 systems is 15:85 that we define normally. And yesterday we also had a high level overview of how the system's UI look like. I just given you guys a tour of the systems, the way how you can navigate, how they look like. So more in our sessions going further in detail, we'll go into the depth of those navigations. Every day we spending almost 90% of our session time on this SuccessFactors instance screen itself. Okay, you'll get more clarity, guys. So in this week, in these coming next 3-4 sessions by Friday, you'll get a more understanding of the SuccessFactors system and its navigation, so that by the end of this week, you'll also be able to get the system access and you can start practicing as well. So that in these 3-4 days is where I'll just slowly try to give you guys the comfort level of handling the system, navigating what areas you will be required to access, navigate in the system and all. That is it. Okay. So this is all about a recap of yesterday that we have been looking at. And coming to today's content, I'll start with an important topic called as implementation methodologies of SuccessFactors. The way how in the real time when you're starting to implement SuccessFactors projects here for any customer. So what is the methodology of implementation that we use is what we are first going to look at. So for the people of SAP HCM background, you are aware that previously in SAP HCM, the methodology of implementation we used to call it as ASAP methodology, ASAP methodology. And here in for SuccessFactors and all these cloud implementations, where the current one that we are going to follow is SAP Activate. The SuccessFactors supports SAP Activate as a methodology to be used for implementing the projects. And when I say Activate, guys, means the implementation methodology for everybody, it's all about the sequence of implementation or the stages of implementation that we have to consider in SuccessFactors implementations. That is, when you start implementing your project, what are the different phases that you see is nothing but an implementation methodologies. So as you see in my screen, we just follow those blue color highlighted areas. So the first one is prepare. So all these are the phases we can see: prepare phase, explore phase, realize phase, and the deploy phase. Okay, so before we get into the technical configurations level, this project management specific things what we are normally come across in our real time. This is also very much important that you guys have to know. That is what we are trying to target now. So prepare, explore, and realize and deploy, total 4 phases, of which the way how the Activate methodology recommends to drive the project of SuccessFactors implementations. And prepare phase is the one, gentlemen, where we'll have all this project management specific activities at the project management level will be done. So all that documentations, finalization of the scope of the project, okay, and then allocating the consultants and the resources to the project, okay, all the documentations with respect to project charters, statement of work, SOWs, signing of all of them will be done there. And once the resources are allocated, the resources trying to access the customer's system. So what are the things that they have to do from their end to start gaining the access to the customer system? All that they start doing in the prepare phase itself. So allocation of the consultants, project management activities, documentation, sign-offs at the scope levels, SOW documents, all this will happen at a prepare phase. And then where explore is a phase, it's all about exploring the customer's processes and their requirements, which is indirectly the requirement gathering stage. This is a stage in the explore where we get an understanding of the existing customers as is processes, what are their pain areas, what are their expectations out of the new product, the way how we can fit our SuccessFactors best practices to reach their solution expectations or with respect to serving their existing capabilities and also addressing their pain areas, all that. So the way how we can fit their requirements into the SuccessFactors solutions is all about the explore phase. So we do a lot of things here, right from analyzing their system till the product, till the point of making them understand our SuccessFactors processes, the practices that the SF recommends to follow, okay, and its capabilities, its limitations anywhere, all that is under the explore phase. And later on is where the realize phase is. So in the explore phase, once you're done with all your requirement gathering, gentlemen, and once you're done with the requirement gathering, in the realize phase is where we actually start the core configurations in the system. So the complete build of the system will happen in the realize phase, where realize is not only about configuration, also testing. So complete configuration and testing phases are all part of the realize. Okay, so that is where we start developing the system. We do our consultant level unit testing and even the customer specific testing periods, all these included under the realize phase. And by the end of realize phase, so once we get a proper sign off from the customer regarding the test results and all, is where they are agreeing us to move the configurations into the production environment. And in the deploy phase is where we move the configurations into the production environment. So already in the realize phase, we start working in the development environment, and we move the configurations during testing to the quality or the test environment. So in the realize phase itself, we use two systems: development system for configurations, and for a customer testing, we move into the quality system. So that is where that happens in the realize phase. Finally, in the deploy phase, we start preparing the customer's actual production system in which they are going to access it going further. So all the configurations are now going to be moved from quality into the production, and all the various production cutover activities like the master data loads, the permission setup, the background job scheduling, okay, the data imports with respect to all the existing customer data. So all their existing employee informations to be loaded into the SuccessFactors system. So all these project cutover activities will happen in the deploy phase. So the end of deploy phase is where we can actually announce the go live of the application. So this is how the activate methodology of SuccessFactors functions with all these four important key phases: prepare, explore, deploy, and prepare, explore, realize, and deploy. Okay, now you can ask me, what is it different from any other implementation methodologies in the real time? Okay, these are the same things we do in any project, even in a Java based project, .NET based project, HTML, Python based, any small programming language you consider also, this is the same thing we do. Of course, initially the project documentation scope will be finalized, the resources will be allocated, they do the requirement gathering, they configure it, they test it, they move it into the production. Similar things. What is that is different in SuccessFactors, calling it an activity methodology, is the main question. So that is where we have to understand the difference at the explore and the realize phases, guys. The main things will be under the explore and the realize phases. So normally explore phase, which is a requirement gathering part, nothing normal things that we are used to is whenever we do a requirement gathering, it's a big document they prepare. So in any technologies, any platforms, it's like complete requirements that they have gathered. It's a huge document. It's a Bible kind of a document, like business blueprint documents we prepare as a huge Word document. So in which we can document the customer's existing processes with respect to this technical product, what are the agreed processes, the way how we have to fine tune it and all. So in detail, what is expected, a complete large BBP document will be prepared in a Word document basis normally. So that is the expectation. But now here in the explore phase of SuccessFactors, that has been replaced with something called as workbooks. Workbooks are the standard SuccessFactors pre-delivered Excel sheets kind of documents in which the requirements of all the modules are to be captured, and those documents are completely pre-delivered. So they already have the proper template in which we have to do the requirement gathering for each and every module. Okay, so let me just open a sample of one of them. Just a moment. Just give me a minute, gentlemen. Yeah, I'm ready. So the one that you are now going to now seeing is basically an example of one of the requirement gathering workbook of SuccessFactors Employee Central. So one Excel file will have multiple tabs under this. At the bottom, you have multiple tabs. Okay, so this is one kind of a requirement gathering sheet where in all these yellow colored cells, we can be actually taking a lot of inputs from the customer. Okay, so if you see at the bottom of this page, you have different tabs like the departments of the company, the locations of the company, business units of the company, like this various things. So example, if I take a department, so definitely this being a HR application, we have to capture what are the various departments that the company has in their business. So if you see the example of one of the screenshot of department finance. So this is a standard SuccessFactors department creation screen. Whenever we are going to create a new department in the SuccessFactors system, this is a standard pre-delivered screen that we will see, where for every department you create in the system, you can give some start date. from which date is this department starting in your business, some code for the department, some name for the department, description, status of it, whether it is currently active or inactive, the person who is heading this department as head of the department, or any department level hierarchy that you have, one department reports to other department kind of, so you can maintain, and the cost center of connected with the department. So these are all the various things what we normally maintain in a department kind of a screen whenever I am going to create a new department. So this way a customer will have 10-15 departments in a company. So the sales department, marketing department, HR, finance, various departments. So definitely for any organization that you are implementing SuccessFactors, we have to list down the list of their departments and we have to maintain them in the SuccessFactors system. So during that process, this is a standard screen, and for all these screen or whatever are the fields that you are seeing here, guys, so all that fields are represented in a type structural format here. So the code of the department, name of the department, description, status, start date, all these technical field names, and the SF labels that we are able to see on the front end. So what type of a field it is, it's a text field or a number field or a date field, like that, and the length of the fields, whether sorry, yeah, whether the fields are mandatory on the screen or not. So like this, various properties are maintained with some few more behavioral comments of that fields and all. Now on this screen, if a customer is expecting to have any changes, so if the customer says that in this department screen, instead of calling it as simply name, we relabel it as department name, add the word as department. Okay, this head of the department, make it a mandatory field. The way the code, status, start date are mandatory, you also maintain head of the department as a mandatory field. Or we don't want parent department option, so remove this parent department field. So these kinds of any changes that they ask, field label changes, mandatory, non-mandatory changes, completely adding or removing of any fields on the screen. So adding one more custom field, anything required, or removing the existing standard fields, any such customization related inputs is where we collect here on the left hand side. For all the standard already delivered fields, we have all the fields presented here. But accordingly, whatever are the properties that we have to change, any new comments to be recorded on the customer comments block, here we can record it. And if it is a custom field completely, at the bottom you can also add start adding the new entries if the customer is asking to add any number of new custom fields. So all that can be recorded in this kind of a sheet. Similarly, we have a location creation screen. The customer is having their business being run in around 10 locations across the globe. Only in one country or across the globe, or whatever are their locations, like their locations of their corporate offices, branch offices, their factories, their plants, warehouses, various things, all that you can maintain. The list of locations. While location creations is a standard location screen. Code, name, description, time zone of the location, like this, some fields. So even on this, if you need any customization, we'll record it here on that same page. So like this is one example of a standard requirement gathering sheet of Employee Central, where Employee Central is one of the module that will have around four files of this kind. In every file, again, they have multiple tabs. Okay, so like this in detail, going further, you'll understand how the workbooks will be required to be maintained and all. So this is about just to give you an idea of how the UI of these files represent. Okay, so where all the other modules, talent modules like recruitment, PMGM, all the modules will have only one file. Of course, few tabs in it, 10 tabs or 15 tabs, different tabs in it, but only one requirement gathering sheet for other modules. But here in Employee Central, we have around 4 files. So one for this master data like departments, locations, company specific data. One more for employee data, like what kinds of employee information we maintain. Employees' email addresses, personal details, their salary details, their job details, all that related. One more file like this. We have for leave management, for time off, a different requirement gathering sheet. So like that, around 4 for employees. This is basically the requirement gathering sheet delivered by SuccessFactors. These are all standard pre-delivered files from SuccessFactors. So this is the main difference that we find in the explore phase, where it is not a consultant prepares a format of his own. we have a standard template that SuccessFactors prescribes, and you just have to go each and every row in each and every sheet in front of the customer when you're doing the requirement gathering. We just have to make sure that every file, every tab, every field level, we are having all the inputs recorded. So that will make sure that you are covering all the possible areas that are required for configuration. There is no chance that tomorrow you come back to your office and you feel like, oh, sorry, I just forgot to discuss this topic with the customer. You'll not come across that situation. Everything will be covered in these templates. So that is one of the beauty where this is SuccessFactors pre-delivered files. That is the main difference that we start observing under the explore phase, guys. Okay. The next thing is the realize phase. So realize phase is where
Suresh, I have a question. Sorry to interrupt here.
yeah, please, Sunil.
Okay, when you're doing the requirement gathering from the customer or the client for this one, if these were Employee Central, right? So if a client want to implement some other module, do we need to gather information in this, or only the particular model or the module what she want to implement?
That's what I told. So every module will have its independent requirement gathering sheets. So if I am an EC consultant working for this customer, I download the EC related standard template file from SuccessFactors website and I'll open it in front of the customer. The PMGM consultant will download his module related requirement gathering sheet, that is a workbook, and he'll open that in front of the customer like that. So every module has its independent workbooks.
Okay, got it. Perfect. Thanks.
And the next thing, the realize phase, guys. So realize is all about the configuration stage, the way how the configuration timeline will be utilized is the main difference here. That is, let me just show you an UI. Yeah, so if you see this here, guys, it's a agile process in the realization phase. It's all about the agile methodology or the agile process that we basically follow. That is, say example, if we are given a period of 20 weeks of realization, okay, so in that 20 weeks of time, so normally in SAP HCM, as because the major crowd are from SAP HCM here, so if you see the SAP HCM, almost 16 weeks we spend our time for only our own configurations, and on some 17th weeks or 16th or 17th week we showcase the product to the customer, and after that it's any changes they recommend we immediately do there, and we go for testing, okay, trainings, admin trainings, UAT testings, and everything is good, then the production, all that. So where almost 75% of the time we take it in our hand, we configure it at a time after 16-17 weeks is where we give it the display of the solution to them, if it is a 20 weeks model for an example. Okay, but now in SuccessFactors they don't follow that. It's an agile process where they can divide this given timeline into 2 or 3 different equal or unequal parts, and we can meet the customer after different milestones. That is, once I start building the SuccessFactors system, after initial 5 weeks or 6 weeks of configurations, okay, we can start projecting the solution what has been configured in this last 6 weeks as first round of demonstration to the customer. That is what we call it as iteration periods, iterations. The first iteration, second iteration, third iterations, like this we say. So by the first meeting of 6 weeks level, so we give a clear expectation setting that here what you expect is just around 30% of the system or max 40% of the system kind of. Okay, where this will help us to give a clarity to the customer what is that they are going to get at an early stage itself. So what has been discussed in the requirement gathering sessions, what has been understood, and what is now going to be configured on the system. Is there any gap in understanding? If there is something at a scratch level process itself has been wrongly understood, now in the early stage on the 6th or 7th week itself, when the customer is experiencing the system walkthrough, they will get a clarity and that can be corrected at the early stage itself. That is one basic advantage that you will have in this process. Okay, it's like that if you complete 75% of your project time, and then if SAP, then if the customer starts mentioning that no, this is not what I expected, the core process level itself it is misunderstood, and this is not I don't want, then there is no, that will be a complete timeline goes on a toss. So where this agile process will actually help us in getting such kind of things properly aligned in the early stage itself with respect to any feedbacks that we have to consider from the customer. So in this meeting, when we go on the 6th week or 7th week in front of the customer, we will showcase whatever has been ready by then. And then in this, any new changes or some modifications that they say, we can take them into consideration. We can make a note of them, and we come back. So once we come back to our office, we start working on the few more configurations. This time again on some 12th week or 13th week, if we are going to meet the customer one more time. By this time, we have to make sure the system is 70% at least ready, where the few more configurations be included, and their recommendations from the first time iteration level, whatever they are given, all that will also be considered. And now by this time, when it is 70% stabilized, so now what we can expect from a customer is not any scratch level changes, because already requirement gathering sessions are done. One more round of iteration is also done. So we have given you the visualization of the system as well. Now if you come to the scratch level process changes, that will not be entertained. Here it might be any one more custom field to be added, any workflow level change, that kind of things can be handled in a second round of iteration. Okay, and then again for the third time, so if it is on 16th or 17th week, sometime we are meeting the customer finally. By now the system should be 100% configured from your end, so all the suggestions from the previous meetings should also be taken care of. And this time the system should be all integrated, even within the modules, anywhere data transfers are required, all the internal integrations, external integrations, all that should be ready as well parallelly. So now it's a 100% end-to-end product that you'll be demonstrating. And here the changes that you will be taking will be very minimal cosmetic changes only. Anything that would require any effort, if it is a bug in the testing that they have identified, and if it is to be corrected, that is fine. But if it is something, any change of requirement at this stage in the third meeting, third iteration level, can be considered as a CR by the project management. Change request they can consider. So that is how the iteration model works, the agile process. So this is 3 is what Standard SuccessFactors recommends for employee central projects, guys. If it is only the talent modules like performance, recruitment, LMS kind of, they even there are in the real time these days they are doing only for 2 rounds. It's not 3 rounds actually. For talent solutions only 2. For employee central only they are following the 3 rounds, and that too it's not hard and fast rule. It's all about customers preference. I mean the implementation partners and the customers preference. SAP gives 3 as a recommendation. If it's a large scale projects with multinational implementation with multiple localizations, they have their customer have their employees spread across the globe in around 10-15 countries. They have to implement multiple localizations, a lot of scenarios to be considered, huge workforce of 30,000 employees. It's a big short customer. In such kind of implementations where the projects go for around one and a half year also, where there have been cases where they went for 6 rounds of iterations also, 6 rounds. It's all about the scope of the project, basically depends. Okay, so this is how the realize phase is what that matters in a different way when it compares to any other products of technical products in the market, the way how the implementation goes. And within the realize phase, once the third round of your walkthrough or iteration of the system also is done with the customer, is there any integration testing, user acceptance testings, all the testings will also be done, guys. All the testings of the systems will also be done at that point. So this is a way how you can actually have the complete realize phase that can be followed in the SuccessFactors implementations. So this is one next important difference that you have to experience here. Okay, any questions on this realize phase, Prox? Yeah, there is a question. Is there any average time of implementation? So on an average, when if a customer is having employee central, you can take the project timeline as between 6 to 8 months for an employee central. If it's non-EC, only talent solutions being implemented, it's max 5 to 6 months of implementation time is what we see. Okay. Yeah, sorry.
Just one question, like you shown that standard Excel, right, where we are gathering the requirement. So in that, when we start the preparation and exploring the things, right, these are the steps which you were showing. Is that the same we are doing in a preparation and exploring? phases?
That's what. So those are the files that we actually use in the explore phase. In the explore phase, that kind of all the module related files will be downloaded by the respective module consultants. So first they have the oral discussions with the customer with respect to the processes, what they are having, what it is to be used in success factors, all that around minimum 2-3 days of oral discussions happen totally, and they just make their running notes as whatever they have to prepare. Finally, all that inputs will be converted into this sheet. In this sheet, whatever is things that we have to record based on all our discussions with the customer, we can also make sure everything is filled in there. After filling all this, after my 3 days of discussions, 4 days of discussions with my customer, once I am able to fill all this Excel sheet completely or not. If there are any missing areas, okay, so this is what I did not discuss with my customer, I don't have answer for this, then I can even cover that in my discussion. So that is the way how we fill that sheets completely.
So I can put everything in that Excel, it means.
Completely.
Okay.
If you have to, so success factors recommends to use workbooks as the bibles. If you have anything beyond that what has been present in that, any additional sample documents or anything, attachment files of their existing system, screenshots, anything there is a reference that you have collected, create one more tab and also include all of them in the workbook itself. Okay, so that is one single source of all the inputs that you have here from your customer. It should not have any different sources or different reference files again. Make everything recorded into that. Okay. Yeah, that is okay. So that is about the way how we have all these 4 phases, guys, and the explore and realize phases really play a crucial role in a different way of handling the implementations of the success factors cloud based applications. Okay, and then the next thing, just to give you a high level example of if it is a 20-week project plan, just to cover all these 4 phases, the way how it can be prepared, just a high level typical one. It's not the one that you see in the real time as it is. It can be more in weeks definitely. So if it is a 20-week one, to meet all the phases, so the first 2 weeks we can decide it's a prepare and explore phase, where the resources allocation and their they start requirement gathering with the customer. All that is happen in the first 2 weeks. Then from the 3rd week they start do the configuration, say. So for around 5 weeks they can start working on the iteration 1 configurations, and on the week 8 they go for the first round of walkthrough in front of the customer, and again they come back to office and work for 4 more weeks, and this time during this period they do few more configurations along with the feedback to be considered what has been given on week 8, and then after that they go in front of the customer again on week 13. In week 13 it is almost 70% of the system is what they should be able to demonstrate, and now again come back to office, work for 3 more weeks. During this time make the system 100% ready and make sure about the feedbacks given in week 13, and finally we actually go for the final round of iteration or walkthrough on week 17, and followed by we go for the testing of the product, trainings, UAT, the admin trainings, user trainings, the testings, all that for a few weeks, and at last, so once that is all done, the last 1 or 2 weeks we can spend for movement of all the configurations into the production environment, and there at the end of that deploy phase, the end of that week will be the announcement of go live. So like this, just to fit into the 20 weeks on my screenshot, just to highlight this. Of course, if it is smaller project with just only talent solutions and all, you can reduce 1 iteration. If it is employee central, you have to follow 3 iterations. You might also increase 4 more weeks, minimum 24 weeks of implementations, like that. Okay, so that is the way how it functions, guys. Just to give you an example, a real-time project plan can be looking like. Yeah, please.
See, actually, so as per the flow chart you have shown, so workbook will be the finalized before realization phase, right?
Of course, that is what the requirement gathering sheet is.
What I'm saying is, see, after every iteration, there might be some changes informed with the customer, right, while walkthrough after every iteration.
That also will be updated in the workbook itself. In the workbook, at the end of the workbook at the bottom, you will be having iteration 1 comments, iteration 2 comments, like the sections will also be present there. And there will be in the workbook, we'll also have open issue tracker as 1 more sheet. By default, SF will be giving in the workbooks. So all the iteration 1 items, iteration 2 items, the tracker will also be maintained, issue tracker, and the comments from each iteration. So all that will be recorded there itself. So that is the single source of complete the approvals also is captured through that file only, the customer sign-offs.
Okay.
Yeah, that is the one. Yeah, somebody has a question.
Hello. Yeah, Suresh, if you don't mind, if you could actually move to the previous slide. So there were two columns. One had priority and days. Is this something that you have customized, or
No,
is it
that
the
is a
standard?
sample. That is a sample. It differs totally from customer to customer, implementation to implementation. That
Okay.
that path is what I just want to highlight here. So this
Okay.
path is what I want to highlight it to you. This is not, so it's not standard anywhere. Nothing driven on this.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
And guys, the next thing that we have to now look at is with respect to few websites that we handle in our SuccessFactors consulting, the 3 important websites that we come across. That is also important to be understood at a consulting perspective. So these 3: Partner Edge, Customer Community, and Support Portal. So Partner Edge is a website where, of course, all these sites you would require to be certified, guys. So you need to be certified for accessing these systems, at least the first 2 systems mandatorily. The point is, here under Partner Edge, we'll find a lot of documentations. So it's a lot of standard SuccessFactors, each and every module related features, the product brochure documents. We call them few more documents as PTOs, project team orientation. That is even for the customer side, the HR users or anybody, to understand what are the various features that we have in each and every module, what is the purpose of that feature, the functionality of that features, all that. So that kind of documents. And the technical side at a customer, consultant perspective, the implementation guide documents, administrator guide documents, these workbooks, what I'm saying is requirement gathering sheets. All this is what we can actually have be downloaded and accessible from the partneredge.com. Partner Edge, it's a repository of various important files that we can actually find for all the modules of SF. Not only SF, various other cloud platform solutions as well under Partner Edge. So that is one single source of various documentation that we regularly reach out. Second thing is the customer community. So this customer community is a site where we, along with the consultants, there are also the customers also having the access into these websites. All the customers of SuccessFactors across the globe. There is a customer from India, customer from US, UK, Brazil, Mexico, anywhere you might be. So every customer site, they'll have some login access into the customer community. So it's not all the employees of a customer. From that project management side, or from the from the HR department side, or somebody will be given some access into the customer community portal. Okay, so like every customer level, on an average, you can take around 2 to 5 IDs maximum you can have in the customer community from the customer side, where here you will get other kind of a documentation, like when it comes to the product marketing, the way how a product can be marketed, the features, functionalities, the product brochures with the key features of that. Okay, such kind of documents you'll find in a customer community. And this is a platform where the various customers across the globe can even get connected with each other. Customer community. And one more good thing that we at a consultant level for us is, here is a place where you can also find an option to raise some enhancement requests to the official SAP. If you are required to raise any official tickets to official SAP, like you feel like there is some functionality that is currently missing in the product, any particular feature or a functionality. So that would be good to have, that many customers are asking. So if you have to raise an enhancement request for that, you can do that in the customer community, where for every new request that are coming as enhancement requests, here the customers can be involved in a voting process. SAP will conduct a voting process for all the customers for all these new things coming in, such that more. So how many number of customers are giving their consent towards this? How many are expecting to have this kind of a feature to be built? For which requirements there are more demand from the customer, they will consider those enhancement requests on priority, and they start building it for the next off-yearly releases, like that. So if it is a feature that is being expected by many customers, they start building it internally, and any of the coming up quarter off-yearly releases, they'll be releasing it. So that is what the enhancement request process is also available in the customer community. Okay, so that is one more thing. And last one is a support portal. So support portal is something like every project you will have a support portal access separately. For every project they will give you a separate ID credentials, where in that you can, with that ID credentials, you can log in into the support portal, and for any tickets that you want to raise it to the SAP regarding any features. So in a customer system, in this SuccessFactors product, so there is something, it has to be working in this manner, but it is working in a different manner. The expected behavior is not the same working. It looks like a bug in the system, or all the configurations are fine, but we are still not able to see the result. So do you want support from the back end engineering team or the support teams? So that is the kind of various requests is where we can raise it using the support portal that we have, with different priorities of the tickets like high, medium, critical, various priorities, all that. So these are the different kinds of websites that we come under the regular consulting, guys. So that is very also important to be understood, like what kind of information we can access from which kind of website and all. Okay. So that is all about the implementation methodology and the important websites that we can regularly access. And then I just have some question in the chat area. Let me just go through that. Okay, so Vivek, our team will get back to you on this, Vivek. So this is not something to the current discussion that we are having, but yes, I'll just make sure our team will call you, Vivek, on this the query that you have posted. Okay, so that is all, guys. So any questions from any of these things from anybody now?
So, Suresh, one question that I have is,
Yeah.
on the customer community, if people, I mean, directly the customers are going to post anything about a new requirement or a feature, etc., how is it being differentiated from consultants or anybody who's in this field?
So it's
Because
particularly, there is particularly no differentiation. So everybody has an SUID login into it. SAP will internally have a repository of which SID belongs to a consultant, which SID belongs to a customer. They can have the differentiation internally, but at the front end, there is no difference. Anybody logins, a consultant logins into it or customer logins into it, there will be no huge difference in it. And definitely, SAP recommends the consultants to most of the time encourage customer to raise a request. Okay, if you have anything, discuss with the customer and make customer to raise a request instead of you raising it, is what SF recommends. Okay.
Okay, and if I may, I don't know if it is very relevant for the group, but I just want to understand how is SuccessFactors is differentiated in the market when you compare with any other HR cloud-based products, and if we know what is the market share as well.
Yeah, so definitely the SuccessFactors market share is very good with respect in the global market. So it's the one main open thing is US related market is where Workday will be a tough competitor. But when it comes to compared to the rest of the part of the globe, SuccessFactors is leading the market share definitely. And second thing, the way, what are these key points that make SuccessFactors a differentiated one that keeps us apart in the race is the two main things. It's a set of modules. The set of modules that SuccessFactors has in store today. A customer once opting for SuccessFactors has each and everything under the roof, under one roof. Applicability of the wide range of modules is first point. Second thing, the integration capability of this product with its core SAP HCM solution and any other third party or any other HR solutions or any other SAP non-SAP products in the market, the integration capability and the compatibility that we have. And SAP SuccessFactors, I mean SAP itself owning one third party middleware called HCI HANA Cloud Integration Platform. So that is where the SuccessFactors backend is also working on the HANA platform. And this middleware again working on a HANA based platform for HCI as an API. So all this are what the major key points of success factors being more comfortable in handling, customizing, and tailoring the products as per the customer requirements. So this is what that basically keeps the customers, the success factors product ahead of the other leading cloud solutions. Of course, when we see the first places, the first three places is what that will be revolving between success factors, Workday, and some places the third place again the gems between Oracle, HCM, and some other things. But yes, at the overall level, it's at a pan concept, success factors is doing the global market share at a high level.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, and just one moment, we have a candidate, Saadat Ali Kudari. If I'm sorry if I've wrongly pronounced your name. Are you there, Ali? Hello, Mr. Ali. Happy. Anyways, guys.
Yeah, so just one question. What
Yeah.
about the security at this all module, across the module?
So we have, when it comes to user level security, we have a concept called as role-based permissions, RBP as a framework. Role-based permissions framework is what we use across all the modules, success factors. That is what the permissioning model that we use in success factors at a user level in the instance part. When it comes to the security at the database level, so that is where it's completely maintained and managed by SAP. So for that, when it comes to the network security part, I can't technically speak on that. But yes, at network security level for the servers and the way how their servers are maintained and all, so they have a proper security standards followed. So the success factors data centers are awarded with various kinds of security standard certifications. Okay, so that is all very properly in a decent way managed and monitored server approaches, the data center approaches, where in more in detail with respect to that databases, how they are secured and all, is where the sales team will be addressing. It's not we as a consultant level. The sales teams will be speaking on that with the customers and all. Of course, there are some documentations on the database, the data center level security standards that they followed, some official SAP documents. I can help you with that, but that speaks more in a technical manner of server hardware parts and all, where I'm not familiar at that area.
Hey, thanks for this additional information. But what I was asking was like, let's say I'm an employee, right? I'm a manager, or like the hierarchy, and based on that hierarchy, they will have the particular only access for that what I'm going to grant. Or let's say it's a supervisor who can submit that. I'm asking that kind of employee level security.
That is my first answer. That is where we have a concept called role-based permissions. Okay, RBP as a framework through which we will handle the permissioning setup going further. So what an employee should have, what a manager should have, what a HR, what a HOD, what a CEO. So what are all the permissions that at a different roles level, at a different line of sight level. So at to which level a manager can access the subordinates data, what a subordinate can look at the employees or managers or HODs data, like that. So top to bottom, bottom to top, every side you have the line of sight that you can control. So through the permissions and roles concepts, we look into that.
Okay, so that's come under
the discussion of permissions model actually. Okay, fine, gentlemen. So let us sign off for the day. So tomorrow we'll be looking into a few more contents. So I'll just give you a high level recap of these things that we have discussed till now, and we'll quickly jump into the next level items. So tomorrow we have to discuss on the implementation models of success factors, the deployment models, of success factors, then the success factor system tool. So in the instance system, so I just giving you an idea of a few of the things. So in detail, if we have to go into a few more navigations in the instance side to give you a hands-on on the success factors instance system that you'll be receiving in by this weekend. So some time as the tomorrow session we'll also spend on that to explore a few more areas in the success factors instance side, how to navigate, what areas you will find, what are important to be known for configuration or at a user level, all that. So that will be our agenda for tomorrow. Okay. Thank you, gentlemen.
Okay. Yeah.
Have a nice day.
Thank you, Suresh. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Suresh. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Suresh. Bye.
Thank you.
Yeah, Suresh.
Bye all.